G'day guys, I'm Caspar, and today I'm pretty much just going to talk about clothing brand owning as a whole and how pretty much easy it is for, when you're looking to start or you're currently doing a brand. It's super easy to become overwhelmed because there's so many things you need to focus on, and sometimes you might not be seeing kind of the success that you're looking for initially at the start, because it is a very hard industry to kind of first familiarize yourself with the foundations that are necessary. But even when you've got those foundations, how to properly optimize and scale and, do A/B testing on what works out well. So I'm pretty much just wanting to break down how, when I go through with my clients, it looks like, to not overcomplicate the whole brand owning process. So for those that don't know me, my name's Caspar. I was the co-founder of Mertra, and now I'm specifically helping brands one-on-one and influencers and stuff, helping to launch their brand, but more specifically scale them if they're already at, that 10 to 20K a month range, and hopefully getting to like 100K a month. So let's just crack into it. Pretty much, it's super easy to overcomplicate things when you're a brand owner. And this is simply because compared to a lot of industries, there are so many skills you have to learn. It's actually quite ridiculous. So there's so many skills you have to learn when it comes to brand owning, from product development, from design, from all of these type of things. And marketing, accounting, legal, the list just goes on. And I think when you finally think that you've kind of nailed or have become an expert, there's always a new door to unfold. So don't overcomplicate it. And remember, I think when it comes to brand owning, you got to keep reminding yourself of these things. So first of all, breaking it down fully to its core, selling clothes is a sale from an exchange where someone rewards you for their money in return for a valuable product that benefits them. So in this case, hopefully you're selling a t-shirt and it's going to benefit them for whatever reason it is, and you're getting money in exchange for that. So you've got to ask yourself, how can you actually make your product as valuable as possible? I know that sounds dumb, but there's so much more than just putting a design onto a t-shirt. How are you actually making this a valuable experience for them that they're going to enjoy is the first thing you need to ask yourself. And then from that, what benefits are you providing them when they are purchasing your items? So for example, if you're doing outdoor gear that's kind of waterproof, maybe that's the actual solution you're looking to provide for the potential problem, right? For someone that might be getting wet while they're doing outdoor hikes and stuff. Sometimes when it comes to streetwear and things like this, it's not that simple. So creating what that benefit is that you're providing to people takes a bit more brainstorming, or at least maybe a bit more kind of planning on how you are actually providing value to them, for the individual that's purchasing your product, basically. So keep all of these things in mind, and when you're evaluating your brand or reflecting after watching this, actually see and sit down with your thoughts and be how am I creating value for this person that's potentially on the other side of the world? So what benefits? And at the end of the day, these are people that are potentially giving their hard-earned money, whether it's they're doing their work, their 9 to 5 and everything. So how are you going to make sure that their customer journey is as seamless as possible, but is also a positive experience? I think a lot of people kind of don't put enough emphasis and importance on the customer journey as a whole, whether that's directly talking to you as a brand owner at the beginning, whether that's kind of their experience with the website, emails and everything, the customer service side of things, because if that's not seen as positive, there's just no way that people are going to return to buying for you when there's so many different brands out there. So make sure that the journey is as amazing as possible, because, it's super easy. I know when I'm shopping or something, if I've had a positive experience, I tell my friends, and word of mouth, here is it just spreads like rapid fire. So don't underestimate the power of that, and how quickly your brand can kind of just spread, get more engagement, and just more source. larger sources of people that are looking to buy your products just from like people having good like experiences when interacting with your brand. So your whole goal as a brand owner here is to have a successful sale, obviously, but over deliver on the value is like your main important, like that's just pretty much the most important thing that you need to be doing as a brand owner. So if you're not over delivering value, then they're probably not going to like shop with you again, and it's just as simple as that. So in terms of over delivering in value, that can totally depend on kind of what niche and what, you know, your brand is, but think about how details can elevate their experience, you know, on the product side of things. Is it functional? You know, what are you doing to cater to their specific needs? Arc'teryx is like a good example, obviously, that has kind of got that they've nailed that kind of middle point between what's kind of trending and stylish, but also has like functional capability. That might not always be the case, but over delivering nonetheless is what's going to allow for brand loyalty, and is what's going to just establish your brand in its entirety. So make sure you understand what your customers' needs are, what they're actually looking for from you as a brand, and just create that solution to the problem they're seeking. Over deliver every single time, and if you continue to kind of work on that and improve on that, then like you're just going to put the brand in good stead. So in terms of an already launched brand success, let me just move my scone here. In terms of an already launched brand success, I've kind of come up with this mind map, but I think, as I was saying, there's so many things that you need to focus on, and as a brand owner, it's so easy to become overwhelmed, and I've got that, I've experienced that, and you're like, I need to do this, and you just end up jumping on like from project to project, not actually finishing any of them, and they're all like 70% done, and it can become super frustrating because you're like, why am I not seeing results or anything like this? But you know, if you're kind of unhappy with the results kind of thing at the moment, and you're having a critical reflection and trying to pinpoint what you need to be testing, where you might be going wrong, this kind of mind map, I think, provides a really good example of what reflections you can be doing without overcomplicating the whole process, and hopefully getting to that point where you go, actually, we'll test this for now to therefore get better results, or at least change things up if they're not going well at this point in time. So initially, it's the product. Obviously, probably like one of the most important, if not the most important things when it comes to a clothing brand. That's essentially what you are producing. So make sure you know your product is actually in demand, right? So that might take a bit longer when you're starting out because you don't know what your hero products are and everything like this. So that's where the sampling comes in, and you just sample as many things as possible until you find those hero garments. Like, it's not really a secret formula. You've just got to try as many things as possible and see people's like engagement and reactions based on those samples. But make sure you're releasing products, whether it's the actual garment itself, you know, that's in line with your target audience and what they're actually looking to cop. So if you don't have a product that's in demand, that's your first priority, and product is always going to be your priority as a brand owner, to make sure you're ahead and kind of doing trend forecasting based on, you know, what's working and maybe where the direction of the actual market is going at this point in time. So product, first and foremost, make sure that it's high quality. That just has to be a non-negotiable these days. You can't have your selling point as, you know, your heavyweight GSM. Like, it's not a selling point anymore. Anyone can create a heavyweight GSM boxy hoodie, but how, you know, are you creating value in that product itself is super important. And if people aren't keen on the product in the first place, no matter really how you market it, you're not going to get sales. So first of all, pinpoint, you know, is your product desirable? That's the first point. In terms of the success of a brand, if you do feel like your product is desirable, you've obviously got good reviews and everything like that, maybe the functionality of it is like creating a solution to a like specific problem, then it all comes down to your marketing. And I think a lot of people put 100% of their like money and their time focusing on what specific product am I even doing, when actually how are you going to be marketing it in a way to, get sales basically. If you're not getting eyes on your brand, you're simply just not going to be surviving. So obviously marketing is a pretty broad topic. Within marketing, there's so many things and pillars you can be working on, through just organic, whether it's founder content or brand owning content with your like campaigns and everything, whether that is email marketing, whether that's Meta, Google, if you're going on that like kind of paid ads journey. Email marketing is a huge one as well that everyone should have set up, from the beginning, at least those like core flows that pretty much are just going to be foundations for your brand and the touch points within your customers. So kind of have a look at that. If, the marketing isn't going as well as possible, obviously organic's probably at the beginning if you're starting your brand, because just the fact that it is free besides your time. Let me know if you need any questions or, want to run through some video stuff and ideas with marketing with me. More than happy to help where I can. So if you've ticked off the product and you've ticked off the marketing at this point and you're like, okay, I'm getting X amount of sessions that I'm super happy with. The next is your website. And I mean, when it comes to obviously say even your Instagram dashboard on social media, that's where a lot of people are going to be funneling onto your website. So you have to make sure that you're putting the brand in its best light and, showcasing how high quality your brand is, or at least what that storytelling that you're looking to achieve is there. And the same thing has to go with your website. Obviously, a lot of these brands are all online at the moment. That I think people forget how important your website is. It's literally your store. So if you were to have a store in Chadstone, or that's like the biggest shopping centre in Australia, but if you were to have the biggest store in Chadstone and, you've got your debut store, you would want that to be seamless. You would want the customer experience to be amazing, not like people won't be overworked. You want it to be, everything's easy to navigate, and that's the same way you need to be treating your website pretty much. So is it functional? Is it optimized? What's the conversion rate? There's so many different like kind of little things that you can be doing to control that and to make that customer experience better. So have a look at your website compared to your competitors. What are they doing potentially better that you're not? Is definitely the best way, I would say, to go about it. So yeah, obviously product first, and then you've got your marketing. But if you're getting a lot of eyes to your brand, to your website, and you're just not getting as many sales, and maybe your conversion rate is low, then that might be something that you kind of pinpoint and go, okay, how are we going to take the next steps to make these things maximize and get more sales? I think, websites sometimes get left below the chain of like what's most important and to be working on. But remember, if you double your conversion rate, or at least like have 0.1 or 2% better, like you're just getting more sales and you're not actually doing any further work once that website's like continually being improved, and you're just getting more sales. So don't undervalue the importance of your website and putting the products in the best light. At the end of the day, this is what's going to stop someone potentially purchasing from your brand. And then lastly is customer service. As I mentioned at the start, if you're not having a positive experience when it comes to, the whole brand experience, your customer journey, they're probably not going to shop with you again. So, make sure your reply times, if there's any issues, are spot on. The customer's always right. No matter what they say, like the customer is always right. As a brand owner, sometimes you just got to bite your tongue a little bit. Make sure your customer service is spot on, because you want everyone to have as positive of as an experience as possible, pretty much. So, like, it's literally, running a brand is super difficult, and there's no denying that. And there's so many things you have to do, but make sure when you're reflecting on maybe why things aren't going well, or even if they are going well, how you can improve, which are these kind of 4 subsections from product, marketing, website, customer service, to make a successful brand, or yours even better. I think this is like the 4 pillars pretty much to any brand owning. And, I've obviously got community building here, and just consistency within these channels is super important to therefore like create the best momentum of like a highly successful brand. And the community building things is whether that's in person or online. At the end of the day, your audience and the community you're building is just so imperative, you know, especially when you're looking to create a movement of loyal followers that might be supporting your brand like indefinitely into the future. So make sure that you're doing everything in your power to make those things right and as best as they can be, pretty much. So as a bit of a rundown, product, high quality, non-negotiable. Make sure that, you know, there is unique value when it comes to this specific product in itself. Marketing, you need to be consistent, engage content that resonates with your audience. You know, if things aren't going well and things haven't been received well, there's no point in consistently recreating that exact same content. So have a reflection based on your analytics, whether that's on the actual platform itself or Social Blade and everything like that, to see, you know, what's working on like the content side of things. And then obviously you got your metrics if you're using like Meta, email marketing, like your open rates and stuff. So website, make sure, you know, it's well designed. Make sure that everything's as high quality as possible, easy to navigate. If you know, need kind of an analysis of your website and maybe what can be improved, let me know, especially with any of these things. I'm super keen to, you know, see more brands and help more brands where I can. So let me know. And then, yeah, make sure your customer service is just like A1. It's an absolute non-negotiable. So if you had any questions on that, don't overcomplicate it, as I said. You know, critically reflect whether, you know, it's the product, the marketing, the website, or the customer service you're probably lacking in. It's probably one or more of these pillars if you actually have a critical reflection, which will be difficult to sometimes go, shit, maybe it's not working as well as I thought, and it's maybe based on what I'm controlling. That can be a really difficult thing to kind of realize, but it's super important. So let me know. Create as much value as possible when you're doing the sale and the exchange with their money. At the end of the day, this is people that are working super hard. If you had any questions, you know, want any further help or want like an unbiased opinion with your brand and maybe how I think you could be doing things a bit better between those 4 pillars, let me know. I'm Casper. I'll be doing more videos of these, so if there's any like key topics or anything you want me to discuss, let me know. Happy to go through whatever and give, you know, my opinion on it. I'm not 100% right. I know that. I'm just hopefully going to be able to guide you in the right direction or provide some clarity. So let me know. I'll chat to you guys soon. See you in the next one.